Hello, how are you doing today? So today we've come to Bramber Castle. So hopefully you come along with me. We enjoy the beautiful bit of history and amazing place to come to actually, even though it's a tiny ruin really, although it's quite a big castle. Hopefully you can come along with me. We'll have a lovely time. Promise you're going to like this one. See you on the other side. West Sussex is a county that has a rich history, and proof of that comes from the ruined castle of Bramber. Built as a motte-and-bailey castle around 1070, the site came about after the Norman conquest and was founded by William de Braose as a defensive and administrative centre for Bramber. Because of its location being on a high point, it really made a statement in the landscape, but more importantly for the locals to remind them of who was now in charge. The Braose family was unlike any other rich nobles because they managed to pretty much hold on to the castle throughout its history, except for a short period when it was confiscated by King John. Even after this, the family reclaimed it back. However, in 1326 the family couldn't provide a male heir, and it was passed to the Mowbray family, even though they didn't even live there. And as you can imagine, the castle went through many modifications during its lifetime, but it was subsidence on a large scale that led to the ruin of the castle during the 16th century. After this, its last meaningful role came in English Civil War, when the castle was held by a parliamentary garrison, and then in World War II a couple of pillboxes were erected, which have now since been removed. But what's left is a beautiful ruin of a castle that's well worth a visit, should you be in the area. So, we're in the tower to begin with, which is a kind of a strange place to begin our journey, but it's right pretty much smack bang in the centre on the outer wall, or the curtain wall should I say really, and there's not much left as you can probably tell, but what's really fascinating is that this is pretty much all 14th century, with the exception of the gatehouse, which is over there, which is on the tip there as we can see from where we are. Obviously you've got the motte there as well. Beautiful. I like that. It's a beautiful motte, by the way. So this is my third time coming here, and it's my first time recording it. And the reason why I've always held back is because really it's just one of these places that I feel for me is quite a personal place to me. It's kind of, it's a castle that for me I used to escape to. Does that make sense? So I'd sort of just come down here to East Sussex, and then I'd kind of make my way through a few of the pubs that used to be around here. I'm not even sure if they're here anymore. And that used to be my mini journey. Like I said, this is the third time now. So the first two times I was like, wow, isn't this beautiful and so tranquil here. It's quite popular as well. I mean, like, you know, as you would sort of expect. But yeah, this is looking at the tower. So again, like I said, this is all 14th century, except with the earlier exception of the gatehouse down there. And we're going to sort of have a brief walk around today. So it's nothing excessive today, because it is a ruined castle at the end of the day. But you can hopefully get a beautiful scope of it. Like I said, hopefully you enjoyed your history lesson as well, more importantly. But it's nice to see that it's popular. It's a tiny car park, by the way, so I'm just warning you now, if you ever do venture here, just be in for a shock that actually if you get parking, brilliant. If not, you kind of, well, you might have to come here for another day. But yeah, it's another castle to tick off the list really to have documented for the channel. And I'm very grateful for that opportunity. Obviously people are climbing the curtain wall, as you can sort of see, which, you know, kids will be kids, won't they? And this is the whole point of art, you know, like we said before, you know, families and everything else. But yeah, I love it here, I really do. Like I said, you know, it's maybe the third time that I've come here, but it won't be the last time, I can assure you. And yeah, love it, really do love it here. I think there's just something really tranquil about the idea of that it's quite spacious. You can sort of sit in a little corner if you want to and just sort of gather your thoughts, which is what I did. Like I said, you know, I came, the first time I came here was actually purely by accident. I was just happened to be in the area and saw signs for this castle. I was like, well, okay, got to come here. I did, and that was it. That was my first time. And just a lovely bit of escapism for me, you know. But yeah, this is a tower, or what would have been a tower. But it is, at the end of the day, it is a ruin. You know, we can't hide from that. And there are information boards scattered across. So if you do come here, it will helpfully inform you of what you're looking at. So it does say, look, for example, it says geophysical survey showing the outline of some of the medieval castle buildings surviving under the ground. Repairs and rebuilding took place in the 1209 to 1210, in 1214, and again in the 14th century. There. It talks about the family, and then King John, who seized Bramber Castle. There you go, nasty King John. He got his comeuppance in the end, didn't he? There you go. Right. Oh, it's beautiful around here today. Really picked a lovely day for it. It's a bit windy, but if you didn't know already, we're very high up, so it makes sense. Let's keep right. So what I've done is I've done something a little bit different. So we're actually on the opposite side of the curtain wall now. So as you can see, sorry about that. We're on the outside, and obviously you can look down, and it is a remarkable ditch. I mean, it's terrifyingly steep when you look down that. Obviously we're not going to do that, we're just going to go parallel to the outside curtain wall here. And you can see, I mean, obviously time is taking its toll. We can see that the rubble is slowly falling away, these huge flints that are embedded in this. An amazing, impressive structure, and obviously you can see that even the curtain wall that we're looking at obviously is not even the true extent of how tall that would have been. But it's nice actually. I thought I'd like to do this for a change when I came here. I sort of planned out the idea that I'd sort of get over here. You can sort of step over, but you've got to be really careful and just follow the curtain wall, but from the outside, which is quite nice to sort of see. Isn't that amazing? Let's have a quick wander around here to get to see it. Isn't that beautiful? There you go, look at that. Wow. It's a shame because even the last time that I came here with the gatehouse, which we'll talk about when we get there, that's now becoming more and more of a bit of a rubble pile really, and which is a shame because I wasn't here. Say I was here maybe like over a year ago before the C word, and it was the last time I was here, and like it's just such a shame that you see these structures and they just seem to sort of fall apart so rapidly all of a sudden. Like just a bit of the wall crumbles and that's kind of it, and then put a massive fence around it to obviously say health and safety wise, which is totally understandable. But whatever the future holds for this place, at least we've got the outer ditches, we've got the main structure, which is obviously, at least we've got that. So, but my god, that is extremely steep. We will walk round, by the way, and get a better idea of it. Way. And obviously we come out here. There you go. You can see again, we'll have a look again at a bit of the curtain wall here. And what we'll do is we'll head into the motte, that huge beautiful structure there. We'll head into that, and then we'll head round. We've got the gatehouse, and we'll walk around the ditch, and that's pretty much our journey done for today on this. But obviously this is looking at the wall from the inner part. Again, see how much destruction's been had here. But you can see how thick the walls are, and they had to be. They had to be, that's the thing. I will sort of say it's one of these castles that you really have to sort of appreciate to come here to appreciate it more really than anything else. And I think that's the most important thing, again, is like a place like this to encourage you all out to go out here and explore it for yourselves. But yeah, what an incredible place. Right, let's head up to the moat. Come on then. Right, we're walking up the motte now. I don't know why I keep saying motte, you know what I mean. It's obviously very steep, as you can imagine. But we're doing it. Oh. There you go. Right, so here I am, standing on the motte. Isn't that amazing? It's so well kept up here, really, considering when you think about it. Absolutely beautiful. Really amazing. You can see that a few people have had like their own little fire pits up here and stuff, but you know, these things happen. And obviously it's heavily overgrown with the bushes. You can see that this side, the side that backs off away from the gatehouse, is obviously eroded mostly over time. But what's interesting about that from the looks of it is that really it's more eroded when I look at it now through the fact of a lot of the tree roots have sort of taken over, and obviously when you get these massive tree roots they do destroy the ground quite well. Do a really good job of it. But you can see, I mean, it's a perfect example of this wonderful structure that still survives, really, this mound. And if we look down, you can see that it still retains this sort of steepness, which is obviously stereotypical of what we would see. You know, it's got to be high, it's got to be high, it's got to surround the bailey here, obviously is you know, completely encompassing it. But what an amazing place, I love it. Really tempted to come back here again at some point and do it. So now I filmed it, I know that every other time now I can come back, I don't have to worry about filming it. I love it, really do love it. Like I said, to some of you it's just a boring mound in the ground. That rhymes, but it's way more than that. Of course it is, it's history. We've got to get down now. Oh God, here we go. Here we are, we've arrived at the thing that really makes the castle quite famous really now, is the tower. As we look up, it's a glorious ruin really. It does remind me of, reminds me of Sutton Valence Castle quite a lot. I think if you've been there, you may have seen the video, you'll understand why. The fact obviously there is a tower there, sort of slash gatehouse really, that everything's sort of there. It's the fact that all of this still survives in that condition. So not really much to sort of look at, but it's a shame. Like, this is what I was talking to you about. So the outer fence that they've placed up there for obvious reasons. Last time I came here, it wasn't here. But it does just sort of give us this wonderful, amazing sort of picturesque type of, I don't know, it just encompasses really what this place is all about, you know what I mean, this information board, because it tells you about the amazing model steam train, the Silver Jubilee, that ran around the track next to the motte. And you can see in the background, so you've got, that's the motte there, and then you can see the ruins there, and you can see where this train track came around. How cool has that been? 1935. You know, you can imagine the fact of, you know, being here as a kid, and you can just sort of imagine the fact that there would have been this train that would have ran all the way around. Pretty cool, isn't it, really? So like I said, we were well over there. That was where we sort of, that was where our bit of curtain wall was. We came up, came down, and then there's bits, like I said, there's bits of curtain wall around there. But it's an amazing tower. The iconic thing of this castle, the iconic part of this castle that really makes it. And unfortunately, like I said, you know, there's been bits of rubble and everything that have masonry that's sort of fallen down, but it's still here, you know, still surviving. And the beautiful clouds today, beautiful blue sky, really does put an emphasis on how amazing this place really is. So let's try and let's walk round. Get to see this iconic bit. Because it's brilliant really, because when you park your car, if I put this in context, so when you park your car, it's just literally down there and you walk up the steps, you've got the ditch that's down there, which again I'm going to take you to finish off on. But you've got this amazing tower that greets you straight away. Obviously then it stretches out onto this. Wonderful bits of masonry. Wow, really impressive. Right, so I think the idea now is that we're going to go down and we're going to have just a little wander around the sort of ditch, and then hopefully you can sort of come along with me. Let's go. Right, so what we're going to do now is just walk around the outer ditch briefly, just so you give it a bit of perspective. And here we go. So again, there's our wonderful tower in the background, coming down. And then this incredible... I mean, this really in itself is beautiful. It's just this amazing fortification, really. It's so beautiful. It's such an impressive ditch. I mean, it is mega huge. Really is huge. Always sort of say, unfortunately, sometimes when we go to these places, it's really difficult to sort of get a scale or perspective, but you just have to take my word for it that there's no way I'm climbing up that to prove a point today. Sometimes I would, but that's just too steep for me today. So you just have to let me off that one. That is a really impressive ditch. But you can walk around this. I mean, like we said, you can walk all the way around, and it's just wonderful. Look at the way that that curves around. It's so amazing. Absolutely stunning. And then really the remains of our curtain wall that's up there sort of scoops around a little bit more. But yeah, I want to take you to the other side now, just because there's a nice bit of sort of masonry there. So let's have a look. Right, so we just literally crossed over, so you can see the other side of the ditch and the fact that it curves round. How beautiful. And obviously this, unfortunately, is stuff that's actually fallen from the curtain wall. So can you imagine these huge bits of masonry and rubble that have literally just tumbled down? It's not a sort of nice sort of thing to sort of know when you look at it. But we're walking around, like I said, the outer ditch now. And it's amazing. And then, see, I remember this bit very well. Like I said, it was only just over a year ago now, but yeah, very, very steep. And sort of like, oh God, I was thinking when I came down here last, I was thinking, God, in the winter time, I'd be slipping and sliding. Because it's what I do, don't I? We know that I have no balance anymore now. I mean, like, you know, I think, again, that's down to age, isn't it? I'm not going to moan too much, but I'm just going to walk down here, just so you get a really good perspective of the fact that I'm genuinely walking down a massive ditch. Whew. It's great exercise, you know. Really is great. Oh. Right, here we go. So we'll just get to the bottom of these steps for you, and then we can just have a look up. Sorry about this, everybody. Trying my best with the camera work here. There we go. That's it. Walked up them extremely steep steps, and now we're looking up at the castle, but it's difficult to see, but just got to take my word for it. And there's a whole heap of flies and mozzies because it's quite damp down here, as you can imagine. But yeah, and then it carries on. You can walk around, etc, etc. But there we go. What a better way to end than at the bottom of the castle looking up So hopefully you really enjoyed that brief sort of excursion to the castle, Bramber Castle. Really hope you had a nice time, you came along with me and you enjoyed it. Hopefully it wasn't too boring for you, and I apologise, like I said, today was really just a taster for all of you out there, to encourage you to come down to a place like this. You know, you never know, in years to come it might all completely be fallen down to the bottom of this very ditch that I'm standing on. But if not, just take advantage of it. Enjoy the beautiful countryside and the surroundings. Enjoy the view, which unfortunately you can't really get on this camera. When you stand at the top and you look, the amazing views are truly spectacular. But there you go. No more words of Phoenix history. Thank you so much for watching. Because history matters, and I will see y'all very soon. Look after yourselves, everybody. Spread the word of the channel. Like, comment, subscribe. Blah 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 blah. I can't believe I'm saying that. There you go. Bird's just going to tell me off now, so I better leave. Take care. Bye. Kapow.